guys.
Lloyd, you talked about not being thrilled with how your team started in Milwaukee in the first 3 minutes tonight. Not an ideal start either, but a pretty significant response. What stood out to you about the way that your guys were able to turn things around so quickly and have, at least offensively, a pretty complete game?
The first note that was written on the board was attack their pressure, and that's how they hit us. They went into a press and caught us off guard 2 or 3 times and really just put us on our heels right from the start. So in a lot of ways it was good. It just, all right, this is what kind of night it's going to be, and I thought our guys embraced the challenge and started attacking them. And that was good. Sometimes you need a jump start like that. Our goal was to get them to call the first time out. Obviously that didn't happen, but it at least woke us up and it made us prepared for the press, and it put us in attack mentality, and I thought we finished the rest of that quarter pretty well.
You guys had 23 free throw attempts at halftime, which was the most the Pacers have had in
Right.
over 7 years in a first half. I mean, is that an example of what you're talking about in terms of attacking?
Yeah, it has to be. And Rick has been, he's been stressing that from day one. We have to be the team that nobody wants to play, and that's on both ends of the floor. And so we had, 20 free throw attempts 2 games ago, and then 23 tonight in the first half. And that's more of a mentality and a style of play of, hitting Domas, finding Miles, rolling. We saw in the fourth quarter a lot of guys getting layups off of their cuts. It's not just penetration. It's not just transition. There's a lot of different ways you have to do it, but it does require work. And I thought our guys showed a tremendous amount of effort and work to find openings.
A lot of your second unit guys had nice games tonight. What did you see from that group as they all played together?
We shook it up, obviously, a little bit, seeing a little bit of Torrey tonight. And, Jeremy was big coming off the bench. And, having Chris come off the bench, just try to change the dynamics. When Malcolm was unable to go, we thought it was a great opportunity to see if we can get some different energy, especially on the second night of a back-to-back. And that's important. If you think you're going to play your guys who played a lot last night and really get high-level energy and gets an attacking team, that's going to be tough. So I thought those guys, Brad, Jeremy, O'Shea, Torrey, I thought all those guys that came in, even Goga in his limited minutes, I thought they all just gave us a nice little spark.
When did you find out Malcolm wasn't going to play tonight?
After the walkthrough, he called in this afternoon. These guys are great. He called in this afternoon and reported that his Achilles was sore. Just had a hard, kind of a bruise. I don't think it's anything serious. And told our trainer and Josh that he wanted to get some treatment prior to the walkthrough, and they were able to find a little taping or something they did to see how it would feel when we got on the court for the walkthrough, and it just didn't feel right.
Caris had a season high 31 tonight. Also took a lot of that ball handling responsibility without Malcolm being in there. What'd you think of his ability, one, to handle some of that ball handling, like I was saying, and also just looked like himself. I mean, I keep saying it, but he was knifing to the basket and really making Caris LeVert plays.
Yeah, Caris is shifty, and he's got a lot of wiggle to his game, and sometimes he rejects pick and rolls when we don't want him to reject pick and rolls. He uses the snake back and cross back, but he finds a way to get into the paint. And we needed every bit of that tonight, especially when Stewart was out of the game. There's not a whole lot of rim protection. And his ability to get into the paint created some easy opportunities. I thought we were trading baskets at the end of that second quarter. It was just a matter of time before we got some stops, but he was tremendous at the end of that second quarter to get us going.
I know you talked about how important it was to get Justin back and the shooting. He had 3 threes, but I wanted to get your thoughts on his left-handed dunk there. I don't see that much from him, so what are your thoughts on that?
Justin's a vet. He's I think that the thing that's great about him is his ability to move without the basketball. And, guys that play that way have a tremendous amount of conditioning, and this is why he didn't play the other night. He didn't feel that he was there yet. And tonight I think we saw that he's getting there. And, he and Domas late in the fourth quarter, they were playing a lot of two-man game. But his cuts, his ability to move off the basketball, one, it helps Domas. It really gives him another guy that moves with that type of pace. But when he's downhill like that, and you get shooters that can get downhill, that momentum allow him to get a dunk. Justin's 6'7", he should be able to dunk with his left hand.
And, Coach, you mentioned kind of the importance of rest as you guys head into this 5-day stretch. But how much can rest help maybe someone like Chris Duarte, a rookie who's going from playing two 2 games a week to 4 games in 1 week. Just how much can this rest period help a rookie?
A lot. You know, we've played 31 games. That's his college season last year, I think. And we haven't got to Christmas yet. And so I can only imagine where his head is and where his mind is and how his body feels. And to be able to sit down for 2 days and not think about the game plan or, you know, to get some shots up, but, you know, knowing he doesn't have to run around and chase certain guys. I think this is going to be really refreshing. You know, some guys hit the wall. Sometimes the wall, you know, may not get there because we get these type of breaks. You know, sometimes a little ankle sprain helps guys kind of refresh as well, you know. So he's been a warrior. He's been fighting through a little shoulder stuff all year, as we saw when he missed some time. And he had a great game tonight. I thought he really was pretty good for us, but mentally refreshing for a guy like that will be appropriate right now. We'll probably be off tomorrow. We'll do a maintenance day on Saturday. No practice, but some treatment and maintenance type of stuff, and you know, get after it again on Sunday, and hopefully have a very healthy roster. And then you know, imagine we'll do something competitive and centered towards Miami on Monday before we fly out.
What went into your decision in terms of starting Holiday again? Was it more about Justin or more about trying to get Chris and his offensive workload on that second unit?
Yep. Both. Yeah, a little bit of both. Trying to help a young player that's you know, trying to find his way and, you know, has been down on himself, and trying to get our starters, our vets, some more energy and some more cohesiveness and some chemistry. And they've had chemistry in the past, and these guys have played well together. And so we knew we need some kind of change. We weren't hoping Malcolm was going to be out, but that was one aspect of change. And then, you know, the Justin Chris thing was another, to try and help both guys and try and help our team. And, you know, how long will it last? I don't know. Rick will be back. Those will be his decisions. You guys don't have to deal with me anymore. But I think it gave us great energy, and we needed great energy tonight, and that was the most important thing.
To your last point of if it is kind of your last game, who knows? But with the new staff, it kind of puts you in unusual situations, and you get to know people a little bit better. At least to these guys that you've worked with directly, what have you learned about the group, Ronald, Mike, and you guys going to battle together?
We were just joking in there. It feels like an AAU season, and you know, every day you're just trying to figure out where you're playing, what your schedule is, what your practice time is. Are we testing? You know, Jenny had the Golden State Warriors scout, and Ronald was headed to a concert the night before the game. You know, Jenny's out, and she had to ship the scout report to Ronald, and he had to take over the duties and really kind of get us up to speed, and did a tremendous job. But, you know, I said it when I first got here on the first game in Rick's absence. We went through this all last year, and, you know, be comfortable in uncomfortable situations and environment. And I think it allowed us to kind of pick it up a little bit. I delegated to those two guys a lot more. You probably saw them on the sidelines running up and telling me who to sub in and different things like that. That's what Rick has allowed us to do. He empowers us to do our job, and I felt like it was my job to try and empower them a little bit more as well. Tyler, Marsh, and Calbert Chaney behind it, but Calbert got to move up to the front of the bench as well. And so I think everybody got a little bit more experience in this, and I think our guys were able to see us elevate as well. When you have a staff and you're working with these guys, the hardest thing to do is establish trust and credibility, and sometimes these situations help do that for you.
Caris, a season high 31 points tonight, and it comes when you hear that Malcolm Brogdon kind of late won't be available. Did you put more onus on yourself knowing the guy that's typically in the backcourt there with you is not going to be, and you're trying to pick up maybe a little bit more scoring?
Not necessarily. I always try to go into games being aggressive. I think tonight it was just more opportunity. I had the ball in my hands a little more, so it just ended up that way.
It looks like for you overall the last couple of weeks, like the game is really slowing down. Is that how you see it when you're on the drive? It seems like you're making the right play almost every time now.
Yeah, I think for me it was getting healthy and just not thinking about my body. And I think over the past couple of weeks I've kind of turned the corner with my body a little bit, just putting a lot of work into it and just trusting it, to be honest.
Caris, we've seen you at the end of a few practices work on getting all the way to the rim instead of a few feet away from it. How much has that helped you both in the scoring department and helping the team in general as you guys put more of a focus on the paint?
It's just a mindset. It's a mindset. Lloyd talks about it a lot. Attacking the rim. Tonight they didn't have a real shot blocker, so we just tried to keep pressure on the rim all night long. We shot a lot of free throws and we got a lot of paint touches, and it worked out for us.
Can you take us through the crossover you had on Lyles? I believe it was late in the third quarter. You think it was behind the back, and you go to the basket, and I don't know if you saw the rim or knew where it was, but you kind of flipped it up, and that was a pretty impressive basket. It's one of those baskets that kind of reminds all of us of what you can do.
Yeah, I just tried to make a play, man. I saw, I had a favorable matchup. They switched out top, so I just tried to attack. I think somebody came over to help at the last minute, so I kind of had to adjust at the rim, and it fell for me.
And I know you had a couple of baskets tonight that were and ones at the rim, getting knocked down, getting back up. How joyful is it, I guess that's the word I want to use, to know that, you can get knocked down, but you're getting back up and you're not thinking about anything else, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling because I know a couple weeks ago I was in a totally different headspace. So God is good, and I just been trusting, the trainers, trusting the strength coaches, and trusting my body.
Caris, Coach talked about the kind of the 5-day break that you guys have as a chance to kind of reset, maybe mentally. The idea of a rookie wall, does that exist maybe for someone like Chris, where you're playing this tight schedule and you're kind of playing more than you're used to in college? Does kind of a rookie wall, does that exist, and is that something that maybe this extended break can help someone get over?
You're going to have to ask Chris that one. I know for me, I hit a wall. I was a little bit younger than Chris, probably not as ready to play as Chris is ready to play right now. So I'm not sure if he's hitting a wall. Like I said, you'll have to ask him, but I know this break will be good for all of us for sure.
You've played in 17 consecutive games here. What are you looking to accomplish in these next 4 days, a rare stretch of schedule where you're not playing?
I think a balance between rest and still putting some work in, not getting out of this rhythm that I'm in right now. So I don't know if I've ever had this many days off in my career outside of like an all-star break to just rest. So it'll be important for me to just, like I said, get some rest, but also, get some work in too, stay in rhythm.
Caris, with Rick being out, it's forced everyone kind of to pick up the slack. What have you learned or observed from Lloyd and everyone else having to work directly with them over the last 10 days or so?
I think Lloyd in particular, he's a proven, great head coach in his league. Had a lot of success in his league coaching. So I think we all kind of just expected for him to just walk in and do what he's done. He's been great for us. And I think all the assistants have done, a great job as well. Everyone picking up the slack, watching more film with us. And it's the little things, the fundamentals that count the most. And I think those guys have really stepped it up a lot.
Chris, how different is it for you when you're starting versus coming off the bench?
I mean, yeah, obviously I want to start, but, it is what it is. That's how Coach want me. Coach want me to come off the bench because I bring a lot of energy and I can help on the offensive side and defensive side too. So I feel good.
You talked about wanting to start, but is there sometimes more opportunity for you to have the ball in your hands with the second unit?
Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like I fit in, better with the second unit. I get more touches.
Chris, 31 games into your NBA career. First off, how does your body feel, and what's kind of been the biggest adjustment going from a college schedule where you're playing 2 games in a week to an NBA schedule when you're playing 4 games at a time? Is it tough mentally and physically?
It is. It is. It's crazy to me. I mean, how many games we play already? 29, 30, 31. I only play 29 because I missed 2 games. So it's crazy. It's crazy to me. People think it's easy. People think it's just a game. I mean, it is a game, but it's a lot into that. A lot of traveling, a lot of games, back-to-backs. You gotta, really take care of your body. Have the right people around you so you can stay locked in, stay focused, and stay on the right path. So I'm working on it, trying to stay with my head up.
What do you think the biggest benefit for you will be during these 5 days off? Is it rest? Is it time to reset mentally? Like what's gonna be the biggest benefit of having this extended period off?
I feel bad when I take days off. I don't like it. I feel like somebody's working, and it's getting better. But it's not only that. I just used to be on the court, working out. But tomorrow I'm gonna take a day off. I have a family picture, spend some time with the family, and get back to work. I got a lot to work and get better.
Chris, what did you think of the way your team responded after they came out? I think it was 12-2. You all responded, and basically I think it was 20-16 after that, after you all went on a run. And after that, never looked back. So what did you think about your team's resiliency from the start?
What was the question?
What do you think about your team's resiliency after falling behind early?
I think we just started off, a little bit bad, but we fixed it. We started moving the ball, getting the ball to the paint. That was big, and just get better defensively. But just moving the ball and make sure we get the ball to the paint and use our length. So that's what we did.
And how has that chemistry between you and Domas continued to grow? A lot of two-man game I'm seeing, and it seems like you all necessarily don't have to talk to still be on the same page, if that makes sense.
I mean, me and Doma have a great relationship. Not only because he speaks Spanish, but he also helped me a lot, on the court, off the court. So I think that's a big part of our chemistry. And he's a great player. I like playing with him. He know how to play basketball the right way.
You mentioned you're 29 games in. What's been the most surprising thing about the NBA to you so far?
All the games that we play. Yeah, all the games that we play, the traveling. You stay busy. You don't got time to. I mean, you got a couple hours to spend with your family, but you can't. You got to go home and sleep, take naps. So you don't really have time to spend with your family.
Luis, go ahead.
Hola Cris, ¿qué tal? Es Luis Enrique Acosta de Compendio Deportivo. Cris, hoy rozaste el doble-doble. Hay mucha gente pendiente de ti en Dominicana, en toda Latinoamérica. ¿Cuánto significa esto para ti, que todo este revuelo que has causado en tu país y en todo el continente americano? Gracias.
Hola Luis, significa mucho para mí. Siempre trato de mantener a mi país y a todos los latinos orgullosos, que se sientan orgullosos de mí. Del trabajo que estoy haciendo. Cada vez que salgo ahí afuera en la cancha, siempre me enfoco en dar lo mejor de mí, porque yo sé que estoy representando no solamente mi país, sino cada uno de esos latinos.
Justin, how do you feel physically after playing 26 minutes and starting tonight?
I feel pretty good right now. I'm sure in the morning, I don't know, my ankles or something might be sore, but I'll be all right.
Coach Pierce had a little fun with us. He said you should be able to dunk at 6'7", but he had a pretty nice dunk. So can you take us through that play? And was that a kind of like I'm back moment, if that makes sense?
When I backdoored and I realized that the guy wasn't close, because usually I don't try to dunk it if somebody's close. I was like, I'm going to just try to dunk, and I wasn't sure, actually. I was like, I'm going to dunk it, I'm going to get hung. And I tried, and I made it, so I was like, cool. Because I didn't really know where my legs are at, but it's easier for me to dunk with my left hand, so I figured let's just try it, and it worked out.
Is that like a family thing? Because, I mean,
It's weird. I guess we can say that. I don't know. I mean, Drew wanted to be left-handed as a kid because my dad was left-handed, so he always did stuff with his left hand, and he's pretty much ambidextrous. Aaron is close to being ambidextrous as well with the basketball, but for whatever reason, like the way my body works, it's easier for me to dunk on my left hand, so I do it.
15 shots for you tonight, Justin. That ties the highest you've had in a single game this season. What kind of did your team do well, or did you do well to find crevices to be open tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they found me when I was open, and I'm gonna be aggressive. It's just kind of funny that I get that many shots after just coming back. I'm like, dang, why couldn't I have these when I was rolling it some other time? But I mean, I'll take it, and I mean, Domas, you could tell, especially when he was getting the ball on the block, and he was really looking to see who was open, and found me a good few times. Brad did a good job too of finding me, and obviously I want to knock down more, but I was happy to shoot 15.
Justin, what does a typical off day look like for you, and how important is it to have this extended period of time off just to kind of reset mentally and physically?
Yeah, I guess a typical off day, without me being out as long as I was, would just be spending time with my family. Trying to relieve my wife of being with the kids all the time by herself, let her go be an adult, try to, at times. And then most of the time it's just my family. That's all I really, my priority once I leave here. But, me being back now, I might probably work out. I might have a weight room in my house, so different things like that, just make sure I kind of keep myself going in the right direction to where I can get my legs completely back and, just get back to feeling how I was before.
last night came out kind of slow against Milwaukee. Tonight came out slow, but obviously something changed or shifted tonight. So what was the difference, I guess, to righting the ship?
Yeah, I mean, with the slow start tonight, I mean, I feel like it looked slower than it was in my eyes because of the mistakes we made. Well, the turnover. We had turnover, and then they had, I think, 2 fast breaks after that, and it looked crazy. But that's why I said when we went to the bench, it's like, dude, we just had a turnover, and they got 2 fast breaks. We're not, we're good. And I think we just, kept at it, kept our heads down, and really started to bring it, especially offensively, and that's what I think really changed it for us.
What do you appreciate or miss the most about being away and now coming back? What
do I miss the most about the time of being away, or what do I miss the most here?
Yeah,
okay,
now that you're back, what did you?
I think playing, of course, but being able to do something that's competitive with a team. I mean, I think that's why I do play basketball, because a lot of times I always think about, like, dang, I should have played tennis or something like that, because I could be good at it. I mean, I could, because I can cover ground. If I knew how to hit, I could be good. But it's like I play basketball because it's a team sport, and when a team can be locked in and do things well, it's a certain joy that I feel, and I really, really miss that. Being with the guys and feeling like a team and getting things done. On the court together when it's like, dang, that all clicked. So that's what I missed a lot.
You ever play tennis?
I mean, me and my brothers do in the summer, at times. Yeah.
Are you beating them?
Am I who?
Are you beating them?
At first, at first Drew used to do this because he probably played it the most. But we usually play like pairs or like friends and stuff and just like have a good time. So it's really fun and it's competitive and it gives us something to do other than playing basketball all the time. So we like to, do everything. But we actually haven't played in a couple of summers since I've been, here or in Chicago, wherever I was staying at the time. But yeah, it's fun. I don't know where I'm at now with it though, so.
And this is the last one from me. What went into the decision to have you start, and what made you feel comfortable to do that tonight after coming back from obviously 6 games off? I
mean, I don't know. The things are simple. They just said, Justin, you start, and I said, okay. I mean, once I got that first game under my belt, I knew I was going to be fine. How I felt in that game, even though they did have my minutes down and stuff, I was like, okay, I'll be fine. I just have to, some things are still going to feel a little, off, or I'm going to have the pop that I always have. But, there were times, I got a dunk. So it was like sometimes I surprised myself. It's just I know I'll be able to play through it, and I didn't feel as winded and as tired as I did when I first came back. So I knew I'll be fine. It didn't matter if I started or not. To me, it doesn't matter. I'm going to play. So if I'm starting, if I'm coming off the bench, it's all the same, and I'm just going to try to give all I can in my minutes.
Because of your brothers, was everything a competition growing up, whether it's playing cards or whatever?
Yeah, we were very competitive, but we were always competitive. But like when it came to basketball and stuff, because we always had so many other friends, like a lot of times me and Drew would just be on the same team and just beat everyone else. So we were competitive, but we would play each other. But one thing that we did do a lot, though, we used to have a trampoline and we had a basketball court that we put beside it, so we used to play 21. And at this time, Aaron was like little, smaller than all of us. Me and Drew might have been in high school, so we used to play 21 on there, and it used to be really fun because it's every man for himself. And Aaron could dunk on us because it was a trampoline. So that was something we used to do a lot, was do that or play 2-on-2 between either me or Aaron or me or my sister and Drew and vice versa. So, yeah, we were competitive, but usually it was pretty healthy other than me and Drew playing one-on-one. It didn't go well most of the time.